everybody, welcome to the Pirate Carpenter Show. We're going to have a quick look at the kitchen here since I think last show we showed just a little bit of what was going on there. If you'll point the camera up here, you'll notice over a window like this, usually we'll want to put a beam in here. I think this house was a do-it-yourself project back in 1920 and the fella didn't understand about having to have beams. As far as I can tell, throughout the entire house, there's no beams over the windows or doors on the bearing points. So we'll put a beam across there, and what happens with the beam is that then the roof load hits the beam, and the beam spreads that load over to the sides of the windows. If you put a straight edge on here, you'll see that this is doing a nice, it's got a little smile going where it's sagging from carrying the roof load for all these years. So we're going to put a beam up in there, and then the trick with the beam is for it to carry the load comes down on the beams and transfers that load to the sides, and then it's picked up by this board here, which carries the load down to the foundation. The problem with this house is the board goes down, goes down, goes down, and then there's no board right there. So we'll have to put a board in there in order to make sure that the actual load goes all the way down to the beam that's underneath there, okay? If you look at the bottom, you'll see I've sealed up all of those nasty little holes, the critter holes that were at the bottom where that bottom board had fallen out. And then put some modern foam seal under and around the window so that there's a less chance for some air gaps and whatnot. Okay, so in here you'll see we've removed the prison windows from Sophia's bedroom. We've removed the prison windows and put in some full-size windows that are, they call them egress windows. If there's a fire, you can actually climb out of them without, squeezing yourself down to a pretzel size. And you'll see examples up here of what I was talking about. I've put in new beams because there are no beams in this wall either. So the beams here are carrying the roof load down to the sides and then all the way down to the floor there. So this then is carrying the load from the roof all the way down. A couple other things I've upgraded here. I raised the ceiling up so it was a normal height. I used a full-size 2x6 across there because that's what it takes to span this room. There were 2x4s before. And then if you look over here, I've added hurricane ties to hold the roof rafters down to the wall. So what happens then, basically any kind of hurricanes type wind comes, it makes it that much more difficult to lift the roof up off of the walls. If you look over this way, you see what I was talking about with the other room. I've added on some thickness to this wall to bring it out to 5.5 inches. That'll give us an R19. New houses get R21 minimum, but R19 was good enough for years and years. It's going to be the best thing this house has ever had. So it should be just good enough. If you look down at the bottom, I had the same problem down at the bottom as I did over in the kitchen, where there was a lot of holes down where you could see daylight to watch the weeds grow out the bottom of the thing. This has now new bottom plate all the way around, and we'll eventually get a bead of caulking and foam seal in the holes and everything, so it'll be nice and tight against all the bugs and so on. We had some progress over in the middle bedroom, so we're going to head over there right now. So here we are, we're in our most advanced room, a room that actually has almost all the paint done. Still have to do the millwork, obviously. That's just primed. We put primer on everything because there's so many layers of grease and grime. Even after cleaning, I didn't trust it. So we put a layer of primer on everything and then patched up the 8 million nail holes that were in the walls, and then rolled a coat of paint on everything. And actually, Max and I did a very special film of that process that we're going to show you here in a little bit. In the closet, if you can see in here, you can't. It's not done being painted yet. But the old sheetrock was nailed up and then nobody had ever finished it. So I've run a bead of caulking on all of the seams basically. So at least when we paint it, it won't look like it has cracks everywhere. So why don't we look at the process of painting this room right now. Okay, today because I happen to have 2 holes in the wall, I'm gonna demonstrate 2 different ways to patch holes in the wall. The first one, get yourself a block of wood with a screw in it, and you have to mess around with it till you get it exactly the right length and you get the screw in the right place so that that thing fits right in there and you can hold it like that, okay? Then all you have to do is put some more screws in. And you need then a piece of sheetrock like the one that we cut out of there. You put that puppy in there. Now, if you got a glossy wall like this, you want to go, I've already done it. You want to go ahead and sand this down just a little bit just to take the shiny off of there. A coat of primer is not a bad idea either. This is going behind a cabinet, so I really don't care. Get some of this handy mesh tape here, and you want to just... All right. Now that's ready to go. Now, to show you the other way you can do it, is you take one of these guys from the hardware store. They cost about $4, and we're open to do endorsements. You take this thing, you peel the sticky back, the backing off of there. Boom, done. So that's the 2 easy ways to do it. Okay, then you take yourself some sheetrock mud, and it's pretty straightforward. It's just like when you were a kid making mud pies. Now you go ahead and put that on just a little bit thick and spread it out a little bit. And then what you're going to do, you take this big knife. And you go ahead and just smooth it out there. And there you're basically done. Now when that dries, and when it dries it'll turn white, you do just a little light sandpaper on there, make sure that the edges are all feathered out and that there's no ridges anywhere else in there. But basically that's all there is to it. You're all done, all right? So today we're gonna fix the window. The weight has broken its cotton rope. As you can see, they're all hanging like this. Normally, here I'll turn on a light. And because these are old cotton ropes, and then on this side they get a bunch of paint on there, and when the paint breaks, it has a sharp edge and it cuts the cord. So that's they tend to not survive. So we're gonna not survive. So we're gonna replace it with some polyester type rope that should last longer, and then we won't paint them so they won't fail. So the first thing we need to do is, if you can see this little piece of trim right here, if we take this piece off, that allows then the window to swing out, because the rope comes through this little pulley and down, and it attaches to the side of this window here. And the only way we can get that attachment is to pull the window. So that's what we're going to do first. And I don't know, I suppose Max might put some circus music on for while I'm pounding, because pounding doesn't sound very good on video. So take a razor blade knife, and you want to score the paint. And actually it's starting to fall apart already just from having the paint scored. And then get yourself a smaller chisel. So now that that's off, we can pull the window. I want to unlatch it first. So you can see what normally happens is that rope runs down that groove into this little spot here, and you can see that's where the rope was. And there's a thumbtack right there that was holding the rope in place before it broke. Yes! So there's a little groove there for the rope to go in. And I'll do that right now. thread this through here, and you want to check and make sure that the pulley is still spinning. The thing's spinning pretty good. I think I put some oil in it the other day. Fish that through. Okay. And now this fancy knot right here is called a sash weight knot. And probably just a regular old square knot would be just fine as well. But since we're here and since it's here, we're going to tie the same knot. Even lower.
One job.
One job. You had one job. There we go. That's a perfect sash knot, and it's within a 1/2 inch of where it's supposed to be. Cut off the extra. And there we go. And that's working perfectly. And then we just got to put this piece of trim back. And if we're super lucky, we can put it right back in the same holes. And there you have it. No harm done. Okay, so let's have another look at the kitchen here, if you will. Look up here.
Wait, I think you should do an actual intro.
An actual intro, like what?
Be like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going today, everybody?
Welcome to the Carpenter show.
Well, okay, how many times are we gonna? Is this gonna be the opening of the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
This is episode 5.
All right. Yeah. Well, those production meetings are really paying off, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's actually filming. You can start it.
Oh, it's filming there. Okay. Oh, thanks for sharing that there. Do this.
Spike! Spike! Oh, you're a cute dog. Where'd he go? Spike! Spike!
How was your day?
Max was bringing over everything so that guys could load it up and give it to TCTV.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot one more
Spike.
thing.
Okay.
We're gonna try. We
love
started
you,
and then we didn't have any space on the camera card, so he had to figure out how to empty the camera card.